You started your business because you were good at design, you were good at installation, but you absolutely did not want to sit at a desk from 9 to 5 and work for somebody else. So you started your business, you're an entrepreneur now. Congratulations, you get to work 12-hour days, sometimes 14, right? Doing all the time-consuming activities within your business like answering the phone, purchasing materials, and putting out fires from homeowners. Unfortunately, this means that you're now missing out on opportunity to spend time with family and friends and missing out on the opportunity to do the fun things in your business that you originally set out to do. Not exactly what you envisioned, right? Well, good news, you can actually have freedom from your business, and I'm about to show you how. The key to gaining freedom from your business is by generating more profits. And I'm about to show you our 3-step framework in order to help you do that. Hi, I'm Ryan Lee, and I got my start in the landscape lighting industry in 2007. When I originally started my lighting business, I thought it was going to be so easy. I mean, how hard can it be to put in some lights around someone's yard? Well, it turned out that was the easy part. The design, the installation, got that down pretty quick. And after a while, it actually didn't matter to me that I was working crazy hours because, hey, at least I'm an entrepreneur now, right? But after a few years, it really started to take a toll on me. I was working insane hours. We were trying to grow our family. I was trying to also have a personal life. And let's face it, I had to choose one or the other, and I chose my business. Well, at some point, I started asking myself, is this even worth it? I thought maybe I should just go get a job and give up on this whole entrepreneur dream. I could be working 9 to 5 and spend nights and weekends with my family and friends. I ultimately decided that, you know what, I did want to be an entrepreneur and I did want to figure out the keys to success. And so I doubled down on myself and I started putting in systems and processes and really working on hiring my replacement so that the business didn't require me to do everything. I ended up growing my lighting business to several $1,000,000 a year, and eventually I ended up selling that business in 2019. Now with my company, Landscape Lighting Secrets, I help landscape lighting business owners work on their business so they don't have to work in their business. So you're probably asking yourself, okay, what is the secret? How do we increase our profits so that we can afford to work on our business? Well, the first step is increasing your price. Now, before you tell me I can't increase my price, I'm not even getting deals at the pricing I'm at now. People are already telling me I'm too high. Let me suggest you try this simple 2-step strategy. The first one is called the Price Marinade. The Price Marinade is like marinating a good juicy cut of beef. Sorry, vegans, didn't want to do this to you, but I have to. So imagine the flavor that you get after a nice marinade, after you let that meat soak for 24, 48 hours, how much better it's going to be. Well, the same thing happens when you do the price marinade. How much better is your price going to be when you let it marinate with your potential client? Look, when I first learned sales, I was taught that I should build value and build value and build value, and then at the very end of the sales presentation, deliver the price. And that works okay, but what I found is that when you're selling landscape lighting, a lot of people experience sticker shock. Are you with me? And instead of having sticker shock, actually have sticker relief, is use the Price Marinade system. It works like this. When you first get to the project and meet with your potential client, throw out a number that you think is about double what you think your project is going to cost. So rather than build value the whole time and then present them with a huge number that gives them sticker shock, now you're going to give them a number at the very beginning, which means at the end, there's going to be sticker relief. Now, let me ask you a question. If you were to ask someone at the very beginning of your meeting, hey, what's your budget? What are the odds that they're actually going to give you their budget number? So when you actually tell them a number first and say, like, let's say you thought the project was going to cost $10,000 and you said, hey guys, just to let you know, I know on the phone we talked to you when our average job is about $8,000 to $10,000, but this project here, you guys have a really nice house. This is more like a $20,000 project. They're going to have some type of reaction. They're going to either say, well, that's not bad. I don't know if you noticed our sweet cars in the garage or whatever, our fancy house, or they might be a little upset, like, wow, that's a lot more than we thought it was going to be. Now, if they say that, that's not that bad because now you can ask them one simple question that can get their budget out of them. And it just says, what did you think it was going to be? And when you ask them that question, it's like asking them their budget without saying, what is your budget? So at that point, you get a real number and you know what you're dealing with. In addition, when it comes to the end of the sale and you actually go to close the deal at $10,000, they have this natural relief because they look at each other and go, oh, that's a lot less than we thought it was going to be, right? Because you put that $20,000 number ahead of them when you started your sales presentation. So that's one easy way to start getting sticker relief instead of sticker shock. So again, by bringing up a price in advance and then letting it marinate in their mind during your sales process, it allows you to build value that whole time and the price to marinate in their mind so that when you actually go to close the deal, you allow them to experience sticker relief instead of sticker shock. The second way to easily increase your price, no matter what you're doing right now in your sales process or anything like that, is to start offering options. Now, I certainly didn't invent giving people options, but there is definitely an art to the way that you do this. So I call this my triple option close. Now, when I started my lighting business, I thought, well, I'm not going to give people options. Options confuse me. I don't want to give people options. I'm the professional. The last thing I want them is to choose something that me as the professional isn't comfortable with, right? And so I started offering one option and it worked for a long time and I really didn't see much of an issue. But over time, I had people telling me no for certain reasons. And they'd say, well, yeah, the other company offered this or this. And I thought, well, I wonder if I should offer another option. So eventually I started offering two options. And guess what? My sales increased, but not that much. And the reason why it's so important to offer three options is because we live in America. Remember the whole freedom thing? People want choice. And so even if you want to be the professional, there is a way to do a triple option close that actually guides and steers your potential client to make the choice that you want them to make. And so when you give someone three options, most of the people in the world, they don't want to be the cheapest. You might think that based on like what car they drive or house they live in or how they talk, but most people really don't want to choose the cheapest option. And most people don't want to choose the most expensive one either. Now, fortunate for us, there are a lot of people like that and they will choose that one. But the point is the majority of people want to be right there in the middle where they feel comfortable, where they're not an outlier, where they blend in with everybody else. And so by offering these three options, you actually guide them to choose that middle option, which should be your main offering. And so the triple option close, when I started implementing this, my sales skyrocketed. And what was interesting is they were still choosing the one option that I really wanted them to do. And if they choose the cheaper option, it's a simple upsell to say, listen, apparently you guys weren't paying attention. I was really hoping you guys would choose this middle option here. The only time we've ever had issues with clients or if they've been upset is when they choose this cheaper option. And we've actually had people tell us, had we known there was going to be these types of issues, we would have gladly paid a little bit more to go with your middle option. And the same is true if they choose the top option. I'll actually try to downsell them into the middle option. And they actually appreciate that. And it builds even more trust for myself because they see that I'm not out there trying to just upsell and upsell and upsell. And I'll actually give them the exact same line. Listen, apparently you guys weren't paying attention. I was really trying to get you guys to choose this middle one. Is there a reason you want to go with that top option? And by doing so, again, it just kind of builds that trust with them and you and allows them to make that proper decision that's best for them. One of my clients, Mike, was able to implement these two strategies to increase his price and was actually able to almost double his sales in just 1 year and now has more time to work on his business. I love helping people raise their price. It's the easiest strategy to implement, and best of all, it doesn't cost any money to do so. In fact, you don't even have to hire me. And the reason I'm so passionate about helping people raise their price is because it's the key to actually building a business instead of just working for yourself. Once you raise your price, you'll finally have enough money to be able to invest in better equipment, invest more into your team members, and finally be able to afford to work on your business instead of having to work in your business. The second way to double your profits is by getting more qualified leads. And when I say qualified, I mean leads who are ready to go. They're ready to write you that check. They want to get on your schedule. Not people who are like, oh, that looks nice. I wonder how much landscape lighting costs. I wonder when we should do this. And by getting more qualified leads, you're going to be much more efficient with your business and your closing rate is going to skyrocket. Now, the key to getting more qualified leads is think about where your ideal client is hanging out. Who do they know? Who do they associate with? If you think about your ideal client, most of them are living in gated communities, living in nice homes. They typically have pools. They typically have nice landscaping. They typically have home automation. They typically move every several years. Sometimes they have multiple homes. And so the best way to get more qualified leads is by networking with the people that they're in front of and that they already have a relationship with. So think about their home builder. Think about their interior designer, their home automation company, their landscaper, their pool builder, their realtor, right? These are people that they already know, like, and trust. And so by building relationships with referral partners, you're fast tracking yourself to the front of the line and you're building instant credibility and instant trust with your future client. Take Eric, for example, one of my clients. He went from selling $100,000 a year in landscape lighting to $100,000 a month just by implementing this one strategy and building out his referral partner network. By implementing the referral partner program strategy, you're able to get in front of a higher qualified lead that spends a lot more money as well, which means you don't have to do as many jobs to make much more profit. Okay, the third way to double your profits in your landscape lighting business is to start closing more deals on the spot. Now, a lot of people are afraid to do this because they don't want to feel like a dirty car salesperson. And I find that interesting because we're not selling cars and we're not dirty. So why do you feel like that just by asking for the sale? Well, actually, I totally understand. Sometimes it can be uncomfortable to do sales because you view it as sales. But when you think about it, we're actually doing a disservice to our client by not asking for the sale. So a lot of people are afraid to tell their client the price on the spot and close the deal. And I get it. It can be scary. It can be frustrating. Maybe you're good at design, maybe you're good at installation, and sales is where you suffer. So I understand that it can be hard to do. But what is the one thing, what is the number one thing that people want to know when they call you out for a landscape lighting bid? The price. They want to know how much it's going to cost. And so if you're not willing to give that information to them and you're going to make them wait for an email that might show up the next day, but you and I know it's probably not going to be the next day because you're busy doing all these other things. It could take up to a week or even two to get them that proposal, and then they have to find time to review it. In reality, we're just doing a disservice to them by not sharing with them the price and closing that deal on the spot. One of my clients, Chris, started using this strategy within 24 hours of our initial phone call. He was able to close 2 deals on the spot, and one lady even canceled her next 2 bids that were coming to her house. And also Anthony, who after 15 years of being in the lighting business, never really had the confidence to ask for the sale on the spot until he started working with me. He shared with me that it was actually way easier than he ever thought and was not as awkward as he was expecting. By closing more deals on the spot, you avoid the dreaded follow-up, the back and forth, and let's face it, you'll stop losing deals to your competition. Remember, you're doing a disservice to your client by not helping them make the right decision to move forward with you today. By increasing your price, getting more qualified leads, and closing more deals on the spot, you'll finally be able to make more money so that you can start to live the life that you want to and work because you want to, not because you have to. If you're looking for help actually implementing these processes, check out the link below. My company, Landscape Lighting Secrets, has helped a ton of people just like you go from working 10 to 12-hour days to actually working on their business, and so that they can start to experience the freedom that they originally set out to get.